So I just got done walking a community in the search for a home base, but not in a rush for a home base and maybe never acquiring a home base. But after I did my self care this morning, after I worked out on the weekend, what I like to do at this season of my life is just look at a possible place that I would like to purchase as far as a piece of land, and mainly RV lots, a raw RV lot that you could park a little RV on, and that would be very much below my means, very much cheap and affordable, but still something at times to call a home base. Um, and as I'm walking around, it was a beach community, which was nice. It was a beautiful ocean breeze, safe community. The negatives were there were neighbors are right on top of each other, like most RV communities are, and it was slopey, and I could tell like if there was rains and there was flooding, it just it wasn't inspiring, and that's why I didn't do a video of it. It just wasn't inspiring. So when you walk in an area if it's something that speaks to you, and it didn't speak to me. But while I was walking in the community, what I reflected on and what I have been reflecting on during the search for my home base is there's something inside human nature that feels we have to own whatever is beautiful. If it's beautiful, I got to make it mine. And Florida's beautiful. And for me, it's beautiful. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, right? Some people don't like Florida. I like Florida. I love Florida. But I also remember, I reflect, there was times in my life where I dated beautiful women, and I said, I got to make her mine. And I made her mine, and it was a fucking disaster. Why was it a disaster? Because everything requires maintenance. Beauty fades. Everything is more than beauty. And beauty is an illusion. It's a little bit of illusion. It's a little bit of makeup. It's a little bit of a season that it's nice, but there's a season where it's hurricane from hell. Whether it's a relationship or whether it's a plot of land. And as I reflect on my mind, and I think about this human nature, and it's something that pulls us to own whatever is beautiful, to call it ours. It's almost the ultimate illusion, the ultimate, there was a while in human history, if you look at the context of human history, where people had no concept of owning land necessarily. It was shared land, and owning land and colonizing is a little bit of a European thing that happened over the past centuries. But even before then, before people owned land, there was fights over land. There's always been human nature, no matter who has run the land. There's always been conflict over if there was food in a certain area and it was plentiful of resources, people would want to take it and control it. So there's always a desire, for more and for greed and for overreaching. But not to get lost in that, I just go back to, my debate in my mind is, am I trying to own a piece of Florida because I want to own a piece of paradise, but you don't own it. You enjoy it. And I do enjoy it. I'm getting ready to go for another walk now on the beach. This was just like a fun exercise, for me that I like to do that on the weekend. It doesn't occupy too much of my time, but it can be stressful. When we put too much of an emphasis on owning something. And I remember that's where I failed in certain relationships. I tried to own someone. You don't own them, and they don't own you. And that's very much of a disciplined mind that is needed to not get over anxious, jealous, and possessive, is the fact that you accept that you don't own. You enjoy and you let go. That's not easy to do. That takes a discipline. That takes a maturity. But also, again, in a level of balance, there is a value of, quote unquote, owning and having whether it's a piece of land or a committed relationship. So I don't want to be unbalanced in my approach here, but I am just reflecting. I'm just reflecting on this human nature tendency that if something is beautiful, we feel we have to own it. And it's almost like we don't enjoy it because our whole time that we're by it, whether it's a beautiful person or whether it's a beautiful area, we're so possessed, that I got to make my claim to this. And then in that frenzy of possession, of wanting to possess, we miss the blessing of where we're actually at. It's an interesting observation, guys. Love and respect.